Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Nerds of the Roundtable. It is episode 24. It's going to be a big one. Well, we're going to talk about some computers and how they compare to consoles and gaming.
Yes.
PC Master Race. Whoop whoop. So
What was that? But you said whoop, but it was like a train? Choo choo, right?
it's an awkward train.
Yeah.
You're on that PC train.
Anyways, all right. So, and we've got some tech news and a couple other things. Try and not make this one too long.
Catch up.
And next week we have a headphone review.
Yes. So as a precursor, Sennheiser HD 598.
No, we can't give it away yet.
Well, just what's on our head. So they have something to look
Next week.
forward to. They
Next
know what
week.
we're going to
Teaser.
Figure out what's on our heads. That's what we're doing.
There you go. Other than Sean, since you gave it away.
Yeah, we've talked about them before.
Halfway through, Sean
They know
will
mine.
change headsets.
Eric's are new. Mine we've talked about before.
And Jake's are new, too.
Jake's are new. Man, Jake's all set up now. Real mic, real headphones. What a champion.
Legit.
Stepped up to the plate. I'm
Get on
proud
my
of
level,
you.
Sean. He says with his budget equipment.
With the monoprice mic. It's actually a really nice mic. You can hear it.
Well, what's funny
Sounds
is
great.
his
Hello.
mic and headphones probably cost as much as your mic.
Probably less.
Less than my mic.
Yeah, probably. All right. So, we've got a big one this week. So, join us as we dig deep into Nerds of the Roundtable.
Thanks for that one,
It's
Eric.
refreshing. Breath of fresh air.
That went much smoother than it did last time.
Yes. Hey, first time for everything, you know?
Yeah, now we're just coasting through. Feels right. Feels good.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll fuck up somewhere. I mean, mess up. Anyways, so tech news. I've got a quick thing on VR
Mm-hmm.
that I think's kind of interesting.
Some VR crazy.
Yeah, transcranial magnetic stimulation. It's been around
What kind
a while.
of witchcraft is that?
The technology has been around a while, but basically they're inducing an image into your brain that you can see and also control a guy in a maze. Future VR?
With magnets?
Yeah. It's crazy. So it's a 2D color image.
That's just put into your brain by magnetism.
Yeah. Well, here's
Huh.
here. I'll show you the picture. There's the picture. That's what you see with your brain.
What?
Now, can you see?
And we're back.
Because we do it live.
Oops.
Ooh. Speaking of tech news and doing it live,
Yeah.
YouTube now has 4K HDR live streams.
Sounds
So streaming
fancy.
live, not pre-recorded, just like straight up live, 4K. I think it's 4K 60 HDR. Stupid. I mean, right now, like biggest streaming platform is probably Twitch, but Twitch is 720p for the majority of everything. And then if you have enough subscribers, you can unlock like a 1080p 30.
Nice.
So it's typically 720, 60. You can get the 1080p 30, but no one's doing live streaming in 4K at all.
Yeah.
Most stuff doesn't even host 4K. YouTube's had 4K video for like a year and a half, and now it's live 4K, which is just craziness.
Gentle.
What was that?
Jacob not used to having headphones.
I know. I'm used to having little AirPods.
Also, for VR, Google, Samsung, HTC, Oculus. I'm always wrong on that. Sony and Acer formed the Global Virtual Reality Association, which is basically pooling together for the sake of VR, for VR development, potentially sharing resources for developing headsets, developing technology, building platforms, and potentially lobbying.
Yeah.
So pooling money to lobby for initiatives that will benefit virtual reality.
Nice.
So yeah, yay VR. That's a plus.
There's some AMD news, right?
Oh yeah, that happened today.
Yeah. AMD released some new drivers.
Yeah, so this is the big one. They did the Crimson driver like overhaul like about a year ago. This one's the what's it called? Crimson Relive drivers. So they added a lot into here.
What are the highlights?
Well, for VR, they now have it so that on Crossfire setups, you can do 1 GPU per eye. So you can have one GPU handle the left eye field of view, 1 GPU handle the right eye field of view, which they said can increase performance pretty dramatically. They have some new things with FreeSync, compatibilities using multiple monitors. So you can have like a FreeSync monitor and non-FreeSync and another FreeSync, and everything works together very well. Software VP9 4K60 decode they added in there to make all like YouTube is all VP9 we're talking about earlier. H.265 decodes. They added HDR10 to our GPUs and to the new ones, the RXs and the R9s. It just keeps going. They added a multi-res rendering. So we've talked about this before for VR. Basically, it's rendering the outside of the screen at lower resolutions than the center, specifically because they're not in your focus and field of view in VR. You're looking at the center of the screen. So it can render things in your main focal point at a higher resolution and the outside at a lower resolution. Or they're saying what could be big for it is if there's any depth of field effects. If anything is in a depth of field and it's blurred, it doesn't have to be rendered at original quality and then have the depth of field applied to it.
Yeah.
It can get rendered at a lower quality. Because right now, you have depth of field at something blurry, but it's still rendered perfect. And then there's a filter placed on top of it. So that's going to be huge. New audio platforms, new things for their professional drivers, for their pro cards, Linux drivers, Linux VR, Linux FreeSync, FreeSync over HDMI. Yeah, it's a lot.
Nice.
They do high bitrate 3 on DisplayPort now, which is technically that I believe is a standard that uses lossless compression over the cable, but allows them to do 8K 30 and 5K 60, 4K 120.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, this weird thing, they added a tool for determining if your cables plugged into your GPU are bad.
Huh.
So, like, if you have a bad HDMI cable plugged into your graphics card to your monitor, they have a tool that lets you know. So you know it's not a driver. It's like it's a bad cable fault. Yeah.
Interesting.
I know. But I have
keep extra cables around.
I guess. Also, like a broad support for their X-Connect, which is the technology they use like on the Razer Blade for the external GPUs. So external GPUs for laptops, they have that, I think, support for desktops now even. Desktops, laptops, small computers can all use external GPUs. Like external GPU enclosures.
Nice.
And then I guess last on here, I'm just clicking through this as fast as I can. They have a new native screen capture tool and streaming tools. So without having to use like XSplit or like an open streaming platform, you can stream directly to like Twitch or YouTube with no software. It's just part of the graphics card driver. Yeah. So just the graphics card itself can stream to anything.
Yeah. Interesting.
And that's
something
its updates.
I saw that was kind of interesting was they had a little software tweak that would reduce the GPU load based on your movement within a game to reduce your power usage. So if you're moving slow or waiting for a game to start, it reduces the power dramatically to try and be more power efficient.
Huh.
But if there's rapid movement, then it increases to give you your full frame rate.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was very cool. And then I was like, wait, why don't they do that now?
I know. This is more exciting for me and Eric because you have a 390, I have a 390X. Jake's on a fucking GTX 1080. None of this matters for him.
Baller status.
I've already had streaming and screen capture like a long time ago.
I have screen
I've already
capture
had
now.
the whole multi GPU to one eye thing. That's been out for a long time.
Please.
But it's nice of you to catch up.
Stop it.
Damn,
You don't even
I was
have
behind.
you don't have multi GPU support at all. There is no SLI support in the 1080, right? They dropped
No, there's
SLI from the
SLI.
1080. Like, there's no actual official NVIDIA support for SLI.
NVIDIA support.
Yeah, for the Pascal chipset.
I don't know. I only have one.
I mean, it
I'm
still
not made
does.
of money or
It still
anything.
does well.
No, it's up to Windows and developers
Yeah.
to support SLI. Ooh, it's dry. All right. So that should be interesting. Then they've got their big event on, what'd you say, 13th? Where we're hoping for Zen and Vega.
Oh yeah, AM4 platform, AM4 Plus.
Yeah.
They're supposed to do the RX 490 Pro.
Oh, yeah. That's
So that's going to be a dual 480s on one board,
peasants.
which will be about equivalent to a 1080, hopefully. Hopefully.
And
But
twice as much power.
Yeah. Well, they're supposed to do. Well, there's actually power reduction because it's actually like a re-bin. They're supposed to be able to do like the 470 passive with no connectors. So the 480 shouldn't be more than a 6-pin. They might be able to do this dual off a 1/8-pin.
Interesting.
Which would be amazing. And then there's supposedly announce 490 and like have a release date like a week later, and then demo the Vega 10 to come out Q1 at some point. To actually, those will be the successors of the Fury cards.
Yeah.
So it'll be like a R10 Fury X.
Well, we've got CES coming up in January.
Yeah, that's gonna be amazing.
Like end of January?
5th through 8th.
Oh, wow.
So the first week of January.
Damn.
I know.
Sneaking.
I was looking online to see if we could get into how
Road
we could
trip.
get into that.
Yeah.
And they have like media passes, but internet influencers they have, but there's requirements for a number of followers or subscribers and those types of
Yeah,
things.
it's not us.
Yeah, not yet. Help us out, guys. Subscribe. But it's going to be, yeah, I'll put that right there. But yeah, I'm really hoping for if we can keep on tangenting. Really hoping
we've gone down the rabbit hole.
Blu-ray, Ultra HD
Oh,
Blu-rays
yeah.
from Disney. That is what I
never
want.
mind.
I want
That's not what I thought you were going to talk about.
what?
Desktop.
Oh yeah, that too. So Power DVD is certified for Ultra HD Blu-ray playback, which means we can probably expect computer drives in the near future. So at CES, we might see desktop Ultra HD Blu-ray drives released.
Yeah. From people like Sony or Samsung or LG.
But like it'll probably be in tow with the same things as like the recent 4K Netflix on PCs. You'll actually need specific Intel chipset, specific Intel processor, specific graphic cards for it to even output. Because like right now, like 4K Netflix, you have to have HDCP 2.2,
Yeah.
and it's only on like the Kaby Lake.
KB Lake.
Kaby Lake, yeah. So that's like the only processor that can play that back. So if you have one of like 6 laptops, you can watch Netflix 4K. So they will release the drive, but none of us will be able to use it.
Well, that's the thing, and that'll be the question, is we may be able to use it to rip it for Plex, but may not be able to view it.
Yeah, well, assuming that HTTP 2.2 gets completely broken, because it's supposed to be AES 128 now as their default encryption, is not the same master key.
Yeah.
So assuming that someone breaks it, then we can get a rip. But a guy I work with, he has a rip of Star Trek Into Darkness. 69 gigs.
Nice.
So it's like the full rip. So I'm like, I have no idea how he got it. No idea how someone was able to get it, but it could be in process, could be happening.
Do you think someone took like a 1080p rip and just upscaled it?
I don't think so at that size.
I wouldn't
Well,
put it
that's the
past
thing
them.
is you could upsample it.
And kind of exploit it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Make it seem bigger than it really is.
would that, I guess that can,
It'd be a very profitable technology if you could, leverage that for things other than Blu-rays.
It would be.
of up-resing.
You get it.
Nerds get it. It hasn't clicked with me yet.
Making things seem bigger than they really are. All right, we're moving past the
Okay.
joke. Moving past the joke. My sister's gonna kill me.
Oh, she
Does she
watches
listen?
this?
She listens, yes.
Yeah,
Sorry, Eric.
She's the one who
sister.
made a comment on our video on YouTube.
Oh, she said you guys suck.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Star Trek Into Darkness is 29.3 gigs for the standard Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
So it's over double.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like a lot for an up-res. Even though like a lot of the 4K Blu-rays are up-reses because they're from 2K digital intermediates.
Exactly.
So the
See?
majority of Blu-rays actually are
See?
up-reses for the Ultra HDs.
Knowledge drop.
So you're saying 4K is pointless?
No.
Oh.
Well, HDR and wide color gamut are way more important
I agree.
than
100%.
than resolution.
Yeah.
Oh.
Unless
100% more.
unless you're getting up to a certain size,
Like a 90s, and you're really close to them.
65, 70 and above, depending on your distance.
Yeah, it's tough on like 50s or like 55s. Like I have a 55 at home, and it's
Yeah,
hard
you
for me
don't
to
need
imagine
4K.
I would have more detail, but higher brightness and higher contrast and a wider gamut.
Yeah.
totally
Ooh.
get into that.
I saw a display today from Samsung. It was an outdoor signage display.
Mm-hmm.
3,000 or 4,000 nits.
That is
That was,
blaring.
and the color didn't look like oversaturated. It was a little. It seems a little bit saturated, but
Yeah.
it looked really nice. And I was standing across like the demo floor.
Oh, you saw it in person?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. That's why I was like, I saw it today. Because they had a thing over by the airport today. By Stampede put some on.
what, over by John Wayne?
No. Up at LAX.
Oh, huh.
Yeah. Forget what it was called. Some AV thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Saw Garrison. He was there.
I saw just another HDR wide color gamut. BenQ has, I think, a 34-inch 4K computer monitor. That's HDR wide color gamut.
Nice.
I think Samsung has a Quantum Dot one as well. That's probably what we're going to see a lot of at CES too, is new computer monitors that are HDR and wide color gamut. Because like this new update for AMD allows HDR and wide color gamut. NVIDIA on Pascal has HDMI 2.0A, so they have like full outputs as well. So probably this coming year we'll start seeing professional displays go towards the same thing as consumer displays, being HDR compatible and wide color gamut. And something that I may predict might come to fruition at CES is HDMI 2.1. Yeah, new HDMI. Because supposedly, in a white paper from Philips, leaked the HDMI 2.1 spec of having dynamic metadata in HDR. So like HDMI 2.0A added basically support for HDR10. It's a static metadata level. So when they say like, a bright white is like 1,000 nits, it's 1,000 nits no matter the scene if it's at, a certain brightness level. But what they are adjusting to for 2.1 is making that value dynamic. So it's a dynamic metadata range based per scene that can be authored. So your peak brightnesses and contrast can be dramatically, like crazy bright, like you're on the sun, or in a cave, like not as intense. So that may also come out. And that's all new equipment. all new AVRs, new Blu-ray players, new everything, which will be fun for us, especially with all our pro AV shit. I know have either of you guys done any HDCP 2.2 projects that actually utilize it and use like 4K 60 or 4K content at all? Eric, anything? No. I mean, we have 4K scale. I found out 4K scalers from Crestron only pass limited range, color range for 8-bit. So, like, basically 8-bit video for you guys has a luminance range, so a grayscale range of 0 to 255, where 0 is white and 255 is black. That's what computers put out. So like your computer is in a video space and it's 0 to 255. Everything that's broadcast, so like a Blu-ray, DVD, broadcast TV, all that stuff is in a film space, which black is 16 and white is 235. So like on a Blu-ray, black isn't 0, it's 16. It has a value of luminance. But apparently the 4K scalers from Crestron, if you enable scaling, it clips 0 to 15 and 236 to 255. So we had a problem where people were just using their Macs and using their mail applications, and things that were gray on their screen were just blended into white on the monitor. And you couldn't see anything because they were a value below 15. So they were like a value of 8. For, you know, a white level. Well, I guess a black level. White level? One of the two. But yeah, fun fact, Crestron, disable scalers. Or don't use Crestron at all for 4K because it's 420 subsampled.
Yeah, and their scalers aren't the best, to be honest.
Had problems. So that's what I got. Gentlemen, Eric, what do you got over there? You're browsing your computer there.
Yeah, I found my PC part picker list.
Oh, did you
I
now?
sure did.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's what we were talking about at the end of the last podcast was building a PC to directly compete with a console. This came around from I was talking about building an AMD build and using... You know, AMD's typically at these budget prices, and building something specifically to get you more towards like a console spec. Because AMD spec for spec is going to lose against an Intel platform. They're just not as strong. They don't compete in the same markets. I mean, at the same price points, they're more compatible. Then you just bump up to an i5, done. But we were talking about using AMD parts to build a budget system that competes more at spec with a console. So you're looking at 1080p at 60 or 30 frames.
Oh, you did AMD?
I didn't do AMD on my build.
Okay.
I went Intel. But this is how this all came around, just in case anyone
okay.
didn't see our last episode. We decided, all right, this episode, let's take a look at building a computer. Our budget's twice the cost of a console, so including operating system, we're at $600.
Yep.
What'd yours come out to?
So when I checked mine yesterday, it was at $560.
That's a lot better than I got.
Well, that was not including operating system.
Oh, not including operating system. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're going for 500, not including operating system.
Yep.
It's now up to 550. I see that there's
down by 10.
The promos are no longer here on some of the websites, apparently, which is
Do you
fine.
use PC Part Picker?
Yeah.
Oh, I just got everything off Newegg.
Oh, okay. Slacker. So do you want to just compare as we go down our list?
We'll start each category.
Yeah.
So
Let's start let's start with case,
Case.
since that has nothing to do with.
So I stepped up tiny. I wanted to stick for mine for known brands because there are cheaper components than what I found, but they're from brands that I don't. I just
You get what you pay for. Like when you
Yeah.
come to there is diminishing returns when it comes to
Oh,
a lot of
yeah.
stuff, but you get what you pay for a lot of times, and especially when you're doing research like this, looking through PC Part Picker, you can see reviews and stuff like that based on websites. So
yeah. So like on the case, there was stuff cheaper. $29.99 is my case.
Oh, wow.
It is a Zolman T1 Plus Black. It's an ATX mini tower.
oh, you went mini tower.
Because I have a mini case and it's still wide enough still long enough to fit the GPU.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, $30 for my case.
Do you have a side window? Or no?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. I did a Corsair 100R ATX mid tower.
Ooh.
Has a side window. $50.
100R, $50.
Yeah, it looks like it's not bad for doing cable management stuff. It's
Ooh,
not a
yeah,
bad looking case.
$50.99 from Newegg.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it looks better than my case.
Yeah.
But it's well, not double the cost, but so 20 bucks more.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah, I was aiming for something that still looked pleasing. you know. Okay. What's next? Power supply?
Power supply, I went Corsair.
Ooh, good choice. I did too.
So I have the Corsair VS series, the VS 500.
Oh, you went 500. All right.
So $39.99.
Ooh, okay. Modular semi.
Let me see.
And what's the certification on it? Bronze, silver, platinum?
80 plus white.
I've never heard of that.
I have no idea. It's not modular.
Okay.
It is just a 500 watt, and that was based off my GPU selection.
Okay. I did the Corsair CXM 450, 80 plus bronze, semi-modular. So going for that still good clean look.
Yeah,
Not a whole lot of power.
Yeah,
on
we're
this
not going
guy.
to get something like Corsair Link or anything at these price points.
No.
And how much was yours?
$50. Hold
50?
on. Yeah. All right. 56.45. So a little bit more.
Yeah, $39.99. That's
Yeah.
on a sale on Newegg. It's typically $49.99.
Yeah.
So it's $10 off.
Yeah. All right. What's next?
Motherboard? Know what chipset you went with?
Yeah.
All right, what'd you go for? You lead this
I went
one.
Z170. I went Gigabyte GA Z170 HD3. It's a LGA 1151, of course.
That's mine's an H110. What series is yours in the?
I don't know. What do you mean series?
So mine, the actual chips, the actual chipset for mine is H110.
Oh, okay.
There's like H, Z, B, and one other, I think, in the line overarching that supports like Skylake.
Hold on 1 second. I'll look it up. I'll tell you. Let's see here. PCIe. On specs. There we go. Specs. CPU chipset. No. It's
Oh, actually, mine's lower. So it's Z170,
Yeah.
H170, H110. And mine's an H110.
Oh, yeah. I said Z170.
That is high up there. Yeah,
It
it's
is.
Z170, H170, H110, B170, Q150, and Q170.
So
There's a lot of them.
my thoughts going through this was upgradability. Having a pathway to bigger and better. So having a Z170 and the CPU I've chosen, It's not the best, but you can, in a few years in a year when you save up a little bit more money, chipsets drop in price, you can get a overclockable chipset or overclockable processor.
And what's the size on that one?
ATX.
It's an ATX.
Yeah.
What's the price?
$110.
Ooh. Yeah, your stuff is up there. Mine's $52.99.
And that's where I was going for something that you could do some overclocking with. Gigabyte, their ultra durable series is really good. A lot of SATA connectors, SATA Express connectors. I think it has M.2 as well. 4 DIMM slots. So a lot of future proof on the money spent.
Yeah, so mine at a third the cost doesn't have basically any future proof.
What brand did you go with?
MSI.
Okay.
So it's an MSI H110M Pro D. So it's LG1151. It's the H110. Has SATA 3 6 gigabit ports. It has 4, so up to 4 hard drives, even though I only have 1 in my system. USB 3.1. It's a micro ATX, DDR4 up to 2133 is the standard. This chipset only has 2 slots, 2 DIMMs, which also kept my cost down because you don't need a lot of RAM because we're competing with consoles. But it supports up to 32 gigs, I believe, on those 2 slots. Basically just the budget board that's going to do everything that you want to plug into it. You're not really having an upgrade path besides swapping out the RAM for something new. And there's not really anything else on. There's a 1 PCIe 16 lane.
Yeah, which is fine.
16 port.
Yeah.
DVI and VGA are on the back. No HDMI or display port. Not many. 4 USBs total. Still has a PS2 port for older peripherals,
Which some people like.
I guess. But
mine's got HDMI.
Yes, but this really wasn't for that too much of an upgrade path. This was for more per spec for what we're competing with.
What is your LAN controller? What brand?
On this, I would assume it's Intel.
Probably not. Not the price point.
Not that price point?
No. You have to go to specs and then go down to LAN.
Memory, expansion. Status.
Because mine's a Realtek.
SATA 6. Audio
Gigabit.
chipset. Onboard LAN, yeah, Realtek.
Yep.
8111H.
It's not the best, but, Killer's good. Intel is
yeah.
really good. All right. Memory.
So I got Patriot Viper Elite 8 gigs. 2 sticks of 4 gigs each. It's DDR4 at 2133, which is a spec of the memory. In the board, it's $46.99.
Nice. I did a Crucial Ballistics.
Yeah, I was looking at those too.
Yeah, the Sport 8 gig, 1 DIMM. DDR4 2400 megahertz. $46.99.
Look at that.
I'll
probably take yours over mine.
I did 1 stick, so you can always just add more as necessary. Because I wanted to have extra room. If you want to do more than just console gaming.
Yeah.
If you wanted it for productivity of any sort.
And I went for 8 gigs because that's how much memory consoles have.
Yeah.
It's 8 gigs.
Yeah.
So
and I figure it's a good place to start.
So processor, we probably land on the same one here. I'm on the i3 6300.
Ooh, I won the 6100.
6100. Mine's $149.99.
$108.99.
108. So you shaved off some money there.
Yeah. What's your clock?
3.8.
3.7.
3.7.
Yeah, that tends of a gigahertz. Probably won't make that much of a difference.
Probably not.
And that's where I was really hoping for, what was that, the 6750?
Yeah.
The i3 6750K? Because that one has a high clock and is overclockable. and they say it overclocks really well.
Hmm.
So that would have been perfect for a console game because you can just overclock the junk out of it.
Speaking overclocked, I end up with a RX 470 overclocked for my GPU.
Oh, you went 470.
It's an RX 470 overclocked, 4 gigabytes of DDR5, 3 display ports in HDMI, one $59.99.
Dang. I went the Asus Radeon RX 460.
460 at what
Dual
price?
OC.
What'd that end up at?
113. Yeah, 113.
Yep. So this 470 is definitely going to smoke that 460.
Yeah.
But I was able to shave off money in the power supply, in the case. Our memory is the same price.
Yeah. And your motherboard.
And the motherboard.
And what drive did you do?
I have an HDST Ultrastar.
Oh, you went platter disc.
7,200 RPM, 500 gigabytes.
Interesting. And what was the price?
$20.
I can see why. Okay.
Because consoles have 5,400 RPM, 500 gigabyte hard drives.
Oh, interesting.
So I figured I'm trying to build a PC version of a console. So the standard hard drive in a console is 500 gigs. That's what I searched for. It's 7,200 RPM instead of 5,400. So it's actually probably a little faster. And after all these on mine, my price before tax is $599.96. So I'm 4 cents under our goal.
I went with a PNY 240 gig solid state drive.
248. And how much did that run? Like 60?
65.
I wanted to go solid state, but my main concern was the storage. Because I think Doom by itself right now is up to like 90 gigs with all of its, like all the patches that it has.
Yeah.
It came out at about 65, and each patch that it's had has been at least 10. It's had like 3 patches. So just Doom itself takes up a lot of space. And a lot of other games, as they're getting larger, it's harder to fit. And I wanted to stick to the console like spec of 500.
Yeah.
That and price. But yeah, it's $20 hard drive.
So hearing the difference between these two consoles, Jacob, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, what would you prioritize? Well, like where we decided to save money and trim stuff off, like where do you think you'd lean?
I mean, I think they're two really good alternatives, kind of two different paths. Sean's really would look at someone who just is not really an enthusiast, doesn't really care about having a computer, and wants something that will outperform for the same cost, So what he's done is a lot of his stuff is, he's built a more powerful computer, but it's also, you're going to be, there's not really much expansion. I mean, obviously there's some level, whereas yours, it's pretty clear as you built it out, the goal was this is an entry-level computer, and as you'd have it, you would want to upgrade it and add to it.
Yeah, and that was kind of my a good point, and kind of what I had in the back of my mind was if you've got somebody that's starting out with a console and they're getting into the PC game, but they're like, oh, it's too expensive, then like, okay, well, here's an entry-level PC that performs just as well. Well, actually performs exponentially better than a desktop or with a console. Because with consoles, what they'll do is they'll actually dynamically change the frame rate based on the scene and change the resolution in order to match the hardware. So if it's a game that's, overloading the hardware, it'll drop that resolution down and drop the frame rate down in order to just keep it being smooth. So you don't notice juddering and screen tearing and stuff like that, which is understandable. PCs aren't built like that. They're not optimized for doing one specific task, which makes it difficult to build a powerful enough computer to play games at the same price point, which is understandable. What?
So unfortunately for me, what I was checking is if mine could play VR, because because I had the 470 versus your 460.
Yeah.
CPU doesn't pass. You need a minimum i5 4590. So no VR from this. Yep, i5 4590 for both platforms. Darn it. That would have been the tipper for mine, right?
That would have been pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So close.
So, I think an interesting mashup. I think it'd be interesting, depending on the situation, going in Sean's direction with like a mini ITX or micro ATX computer. I think because then you could do like a really small case, like something like the Node 202, I think, which is only a little bit bigger than most consoles.
Mm-hmm.
Height-wise, volumetric-wise, it's a bit bigger because it's got to be a bit deeper. But
I mean, if you wanted, outside of our budgets, but the Corsair Bulldog is also a case that you would get that'd be like a living room console in a PC. It's more shaped like a console. It's like a home theater PC type box, but I think it's like at least 200. Ooh. Oh, that comes with a motherboard. I saw a price of $380. I'm like, oh my god. Is it a? Oh, actually, is that pre-built? Oh no, the case is $299. Is there anything in there?
Pretty big.
oh, okay, found it.
And it has a liquid loop inside.
The
It comes with a power supply.
what is it?
Corsair Bulldog.
Okay.
It's $299, but it comes with a 600-watt power supply and a liquid loop.
Huh.
So it has the H5 SF like low profile liquid loop.
Yeah.
The case and
much
a
is it?
600-watt power supply. $299.
That's not bad.
And it looks really good.
So the 7350K will have a stock clock speed of 4.2, and it's overclockable.
Not bad.
That is not bad.
Not bad.
2 cores and 4 threads, of course. It's an i3.
And when you drop down to i3s. See, that was a tough thing for me starting to think about it. Was I wanted to try to lean AMD, but I know I couldn't because I don't know enough about the products. But consoles have 8-core CPUs, and we both spec'd out dual-core CPUs without hyper-threading. So they're just 2 cores, period, no additional threads. But I mean, they're more desktop cores. The console cores are really laptop cores. They're not quite as powerful per core, but that was kind of a struggle for me. It was spec for spec. I wanted to find something with 8 cores, but I didn't want to jump on an AMD, and 8-core Intel costs like $1,000. So can't do that.
I hear you.
Yeah, I'm actually I sent over my list to my buddy Adam because he's looking to build, like, he wants a computer to play some games on, but he doesn't really want to spend any money. So these ones would be perfect for him. Especially because it's hard to find stuff in the store too at these price points you can get pretty decent in the store. It's just you don't have any expandability at all.
Yeah.
Which mine doesn't have too much expandability either, but say versus yours, something in the store probably wouldn't have the same headroom to move forward with that yours has.
Yeah, and that was what I felt was a big part that I was going for, but and that's part of building a PC that I love the most. And kind of the side point that we were trying to make was the fact that if you go out and you buy your own computer, get a line of 30 to choose from. Which one's best? Well, it depends. Mm-hmm. It depends on what you're doing and what components you like and don't like. Building your own PC is easy for the most part. There's pitfalls you can fall into, traps, but for the most part, it's simple.
Yeah, you're not gonna slot a piece of RAM into a PCIe slot. Like,
Yeah, and
you're gonna be good. Things only go in one place.
Yeah,
You'll
and
end up finding
even the directions that come with the motherboard tell you exactly where to put stuff. It's
Yeah.
pretty easy. But, we spend all this time worrying and trying to find the best of pre-made products within the budget that we can find. But if you go out and you have someone, if you've never done it before, help you and be like, okay, what do you want to do? What's your budget? Do you want upgradability, or do you just want bitching? Where do you want to wind up on the spectrum? I can help you match hardware to what you are looking for. Because if it's bare bones budget, $400 computer, then it's like, go out and buy
That's tough.
buy one. Buy the cheapest one you can find.
Yeah,
at Best
so
Buy.
you want to use Facebook, and that's it.
Yeah.
Facebook, email,
But
buy that computer.
if you want to start getting into gaming, then yeah, it's like, okay, cool. We need to look at upgrade paths. What, I would spend more in a case that you can have for a long time and use for customizing and making sure you have enough room. And
I
stuff.
did that.
Exactly. You spent more on your
That's
case
my story.
because you can do more with it
Oh,
later
yeah.
on versus like the first case I had. It's like, great. It's great for this one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got a new case. I got it specifically for a task. Worked great. Now I want to use it more for gaming. It's like, well, shit. Now, here's my dream case because will do everything I will need it to do and more.
Yep.
If I get more extreme than this, then I'm going to have to go Case Labs and just drop that wad. But I'm not going to drop that wad.
I'm actually already. I was looking at my my Cooler Master, Cosmos 2 sitting next to me. I was thinking about my dual build.
We don't get paid for these ad drops.
It's my pride and joy. I love it. It's my 90-pound computer, not like 70. But yeah, it's probably like it's not quite up to this table, but it's probably close.
Anyways, yeah.
And I'm just imagining that there on my right being my workstation. So I'm using, my Premiere and all my stuff and actually streaming from it. On the left, Corsair 900D, which is the other beast of a computer. Just these dual stack computers, both about 3 feet into the air, both weighing like 70 pounds. Just, it's going to be a power station. It's going to be amazing.
You all need a heater.
And that'll be my, that case for, because I was thinking like gaming PC, I can stick to the one GPU. Could do a liquid loop, might not need to, but it'll be like I won't do an extreme build, and I don't need a lot of space for all these hard drives and shit. Could eventually have the space for a custom liquid loop, but that would be in the future from how I want to start off the build. I'll probably do another closed loop again.
So I see what you're trying to say. So and I ran into this last year where I was trying to make one computer do too much. And it became very difficult, having a Plex server and a gaming computer, and it was a entertainment center computer, and trying to make it do everything. Yeah, it was working, but I was using a lot of power, and it wasn't efficient for what I needed. But spending a little bit more on dedicated, then there's a deviation point where you have to go, okay, well, I need one for this and one for this. Yeah, most women are going to look at you and go, hell. Most guys will probably go, why do you need two computers?
Oh, yeah. People have just walked into my room and seen my computers, and they're like, what is that? Or you'll be in my living room, and you'll be like, what is that sound? Is your refrigerator, like, really loud? Like, Jacob knows. Like, you spend some time in my living room, and just like, what is happening right now? Yeah, it's loud.
Good times. So, I guess that's where we're at with computers. It should be interesting to see where they price Zen, and along with what's the new Intel processors coming out.
Well, the one that I am excited for would be Skylake E.
Yeah, but we're not talking about what you're excited for.
Well, that'll be the new, maybe X99, maybe a new pinout, because we'll see. There's the Kaby Lakes. Those are the new ones, right? Kaby Lake S is coming out, and then Skylake E. Should be everything.
Coffee Lake.
Coffee, that's far off, isn't that?
Cannon Lake? Now I'm curious. Coffee Lake 14 nanometer 2018. Oh, Coffee Lake and Cannon Lake to coexist in 2018. Kaby Lake, Coffee Lake, and Cannon Lake CPUs.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the tough thing for me is I don't need another enthusiast platform, so I'm interested in what Skylake E brings to the table, but until PCIe 4.0 comes out, I don't know if I'd really bother going an enthusiast platform again when I'm on a Haswell E. No, not Haswell E. Yeah, I'm on Haswell E.
So it should be, did you know going down to, I think 10 nanometers and lower, they're having to steer away from silicon?
Mm-hmm. There's the new Snapdragon 835 that's in fab right now. That should come out in February at the earliest. It's 10 nanometers.
It's exciting times.
Also, fucking mind blown today. Microsoft announced that Windows 10 x86 applications certified to run on Snapdragon 835 with an ARM emulator.
Nice.
So now from the Snapdragon 835 on ARM, it's real full Windows app. Like you could run, Toolbox and all that stuff off an ARM processor. So the big thing would be their Continuum platform. So basically, you could take your phone, put it into a DisplayPort dock, have a mouse and keyboard, have it output HDMI to a monitor, and have your phone be your laptop.
Yeah.
So you can take it to a desk, plug in like a USB-C, and then you would have full Windows application desktop.
Yeah. We're going to be there with both Windows and I'm assuming Apple within the next couple of years.
We'll bridge the platforms.
Yeah. Where you have iOS on your phone, but as soon as you plug it into a dock, you have still iOS on your phone, but then OS 10 running.
Yeah. Even though it's not a real operating system, Andromeda from Google was rumored for the last press event, and that's Chromium and Android in one operating system.
Yeah.
So it'll be the Chrome OS will be a part of Android. So basically every major manufacturer is going in the same direction of full computing from mobile devices.
Yeah.
It's just things get smaller. Big thing that has to happen is battery tech has to improve.
Yeah. Well, we're getting there. Definitely.
No more exploding.
Elon Musk. Come and save us.
Seriously.
He's kind of our hope right now, right? With that big factory.
The Gigafactory.
The Gigafactory.
Gigafactory.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that 100 of those gigafactories could literally power the world. Like all electricity to the world would be in 100 gigafactories. But one gigafactory is the largest building ever created by man. So
that's cool.
Finish.
It would take a lot. But right now, one gigafactory could solve the electrical problems of many countries by itself.
There's more than just that, but yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you. And that's, solar wind is going to be interesting. So,
yeah.
I think that's a good episode this week. Thanks for sticking through this one.
Yeah, now you can
buy,
get your feet wet into a PC affordably without going crazy and get that console quality from
something that you can do more with just gaming and yelling at people online.
Yeah, so, and we'll put I'm sure we'll find some way to give you access to these parts lists so you can see what we actually built and click on them and see your items.
Yeah, if you're interested, let us know. If you put it in PC Part Picker, you can do a permalink and send it out in it.
Ooh, or maybe we can make links to our list appear like here.
But what if you're listening?
Oh, if you're listening, then go to our YouTube channel, listeners.
Or you can I'll probably put them in the description for the podcast on the website too.
There we go.
You just gotta send it to me. So
So how much longer are we still gonna have the people that are on Podomatic? Can they still hear
I didn't
audios?
upload last time to Podomatic.
Yeah, sorry, Podomatic.
Podomatic,
people.
you're screwed. You can't hear us. Yeah, we're pretty much. So if you guys have questions, feel free to reach out to us. Send us a message on YouTube. Drop us a like, subscribe. Somewhere down in there.
We'll try.
And you can find us on nerdspodcast.tech. You can send us an email at contact@nerdspodcast.tech. There's a forum on the website. You can contact us through Facebook. God, we're pretty much everywhere except for Instagram. You don't want to see us. Instagram.
No. Once we have product reviews, once we do product reviews, then we could do Instagram.
Yes. It's time for bed.
Yeah, which should be coming up soon.
Already?
To get 8 hours of sleep before I have to get up, yes.
So next time, we can expect our headphone head-to-head?
Yes, next week should be headphone head-to-head, our impressions, just as the podcast. And then we're going to do a review-style video on YouTube where we're going to talk about the specifics of each one and the specs and what's different. We're going to do kind of like a rating system to see like where these wind up in our own non-professional and professional opinions.
Yeah.
Because we're not using any type of measuring devices. It's all going to be coming out of a high sample DAC. It has a 192 24-bit DAC going into a 4-way amplifier, headphone amplifier to amplify, 4 different sets of headphones, and we're going to listen to them. I've got a series of like 10 songs. Choose them, listen through. It should be really good. If you guys want to listen to the songs that we're going to listen to, you can drop us a line, shoot us a message, and I can shoot you the link to the playlist on Spotify. And yes, you audiophiles, I am using Spotify. I'm not downloading a FLAC file and paying for it. I'm going to stream it on Spotify because, yes, it is good enough. And it's a level playing field for all of these headphones.
And it's a more uniform platform for an end user. So people just at home watching these comparisons that may be interested in upping their headphone game, this is a source that is the most popular streaming service and that people have access to. So with that baseline of content, you can have more confidence in our impressions based on that source.
And it is Spotify Premium, so it is high bandwidth audio, 320 kilobits a second, which is more than enough. So you guys can suck it.
Yeah, I look forward to that.
So it should be good.
That is.
I'm really excited about it. And let us know if you guys have something you're going to be wanting us to test. Sean has been playing with Premiere and trying to do some video editing. I think he should just dig into it and start going for it.
I know.
Instead of trying to be the best out of the gate, but
I'm so scared.
Because we've got a review for a digital signage player.
Bright Side.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Super exciting. Should be going into a project too. So we'll see the lifelong effects.
Which signage player was that again?
The Bright Sign XT1132.
Okay.
I should know that off the top of my head now since I've seen the clip so many times. I should know everything about this.
I just used a Bright Sign player recently, and I had a terrible. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I had difficulties
with what?
With a Bright Sign player.
Which part of it?
As a little
the
precursor.
XT1143 expanded I/O player.
Oh yeah, I was using a slightly older one.
Okay. Anyways, we can talk about this offline. So.
And online next time.
Yes. As soon as Sean
I'll
decides.
get on it.
Yes, thank you.
I'll do it.
Next week, can we promise live that it will be next week? Something next week.
In front of the entire internet.
in front of you 4 viewers. Yes, we'll have it ready.
All right.
Prepare yourselves.
Thanks, guys. We're out.